Hi there, I'm Karina, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience at the AAEA Annual Fall Conference. And if you don't know what AAEA stands for, it's the Alaska Arts Education Association. So it actually wasn't my original plan to attend this event, but I'm really glad I ended up going because it gave me the opportunity to visit Palmer, Alaska, which I've always wanted to do. And Palmer is about an hour north of Anchorage, where I live. I really liked Palmer because the town was really small and quaint. And I also really liked seeing the fireweed as it was blooming across all the fields because Palmer is pretty agricultural, so there's a lot of like fields and farms around. Oh, and a little fun fact about fireweed is it's supposed to predict when winter will occur based upon the way it blooms, I believe, but that's according to the Alaska locals. So I anticipated going into this event thinking it would be just a bunch of educators and professional people just sitting in a conference hall talking about how to provide art education for students, but it turned out to be a much more like community driven, welcoming setting in a way. And what was interesting is I saw such a diverse group of people when I got in there. There were like families, groups of friends, people ranging from like 80 years old to 2 years old. It was really incredible. I was surprised and delighted when I got there. And overall, it was clear that you didn't really need to meet a certain criteria or fit a certain mold to attend that event. You didn't have to be a teacher, you didn't even have to be an artist. It was all people were welcome. They made the conference hall itself very warm and inviting too, in the way they decorated it. As you walked in, it was full of artwork that students had made, students from the Anchorage School District, students from schools in Palmer, just all across Alaska, really. It was really cool to see all the kids' work. I'll insert some pictures from their website. I didn't take any pictures when I was there, but I'll insert the pictures that I do have from their website up here. I also didn't anticipate having to actually do artwork myself in this event. So when they first announced that we were going to be starting to like do our own thing and make some art, I was really nervous. But then one of the guest speakers went up and she kind of eased my mind and maybe others who were feeling nervous and vulnerable about painting in front of others. She really broke that ice and that was really comforting. I learned a lot about the Alaska Art Education Association. I was able to get a good understanding of all the things they do to help these kids who haven't had the resources to learn and grow. This nonprofit organization seeks to provide these art education resources to all students despite their socioeconomic status, race, or other discriminating factors. And they also seek to provide a safe space for students to be able to express themselves through artwork, whatever that artwork or medium may be, whatever their abilities in art may be. The insight I've gained about this population of students is they need guidance from their art educators, and they need guidance from all teachers in general. And it's very important for art educators to be passionate about the things they are teaching to these students. On their website, they actually provide a lot of interesting research on the ways that implementing art into traditional methods of learning. They provided a research study on how drawing can be an effective way of studying and remembering material that they need to process. According to recent studies, Drawing can be more beneficial for students than reading and writing because it provides the opportunity for the child to process information in multiple ways. This is a powerful way to boost memory. So I was talking with one of the guest speakers who is an educator for the Anchorage School District. Specifically, she's an art educator. Her name is Bisa Butler. And she basically was letting me know about the policies that currently affect her students and all students across Alaska, and specifically the Alaska Reads Act. And this was signed in 2022, and it created new programs and policies in education to support early learning reading. It also encourages educators to think of new ways to engage their students. This kind of goes along with the research that AAEA is doing. For example, drawing instead of reciting information when studying. So social workers can participate in helping this group of students in various ways. On a macro level, they could participate in research that advocates for art centers and resources for art education for all students despite their socioeconomic status or other discriminating factors. On a meso level, social workers can support vulnerable and oppressed students by serving for a nonprofit organization such as the Alaska Art Education Association. Whether it is a volunteer or paid position, it would allow social workers to advocate for providing educational opportunities and resources for all children, despite their socioeconomic status, gender, race, or any other discriminating factors. On a micro level, social workers can support vulnerable and oppressed students by providing resources and opportunities for art classes and workshops offered in their community. For instance, if I was a social worker living in Alaska and I was helping an individual student and their parents as they navigate ways to help the student cope with stress, I could provide them with information regarding workshops and art classes at the Alaska Art Education Association. In regards to cultural humility, attending this event helped me to remember that as social workers, we cannot expect one person to have the same experience as another person simply because they identify with the same culture. As a social worker, it is dangerous to believe that every student has a single story. Cultures are constantly evolving, which makes practicing cultural humility a lifelong experience. In this case, I need to further my knowledge in what specifically causes issues and concerns in the Alaskan education system and the obstacles students face when in the classroom. When it comes to social work, we should strive to be change agents in regards to anti-oppression and anti-racism. On a micro level, I need to recognize my privileges as a white person in regards to the resources and opportunities that are provided to me. In addition, I need to avoid perpetuating these privileges. For instance, I should not be afraid to discuss racism with a client out of fear that I am creating conflict. On a meso level, I could work in schools to implement anti-racism in a classroom setting. To elaborate, I could help create or improve restorative justice programs. These programs should focus on promoting empowerment, community, and collaboration in students when discussing topics such as microaggression, discrimination, and racism. On a macro level, I could conduct research that explores how art can help children cope with trauma. For instance, studies have shown that engaging students in art and storytelling allows them to speak openly about social justice and their own experiences with discrimination and racism.